What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and this one wants to do something a little bit different. I want to talk about one of Tesla's cousins known as NIO and why this stock is looking very, very good in my opinion, and how this actually relates to Tesla as well. Before breaking things down about all this information though, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so make sure you take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends in just 4 days, so check it out before they run out. With that, out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, so anyways, when it comes to Tesla, we know Tesla has so much potential for upside, but the thing you have to remember about Tesla moving forward, at least for the longer term, is we're going to be watching support and resistance levels on Tesla, and not forget the words that Elon Musk and the Tesla team told us about Tesla's future for production. Now, when Tesla cuts its production, obviously they have to do this for growth reasons and also because of other recessionary factors, all playing different roles. That's what Elon Musk and the team mentioned. But moving forward, I'm still a massive, massive Tesla bull. But one of the things I want to remind you guys about is how, when it comes to the way Tesla moves, Tesla's an awesome stock to trade, to buy into, and to do whatever you want to do with it. I'm not saying I'm giving any financial advice, it's just your choice. But I want to remind you all that Tesla in itself, as great as it is, it's not everything there is to the markets. And I believe there are other plays as well that could play out very well, like NVIDIA, trying to play that, or trying to play like NIO. And I wanted to actually talk about NIO because something very big is happening to this, and this could have a very, very big effect on other sectors. Now, what's happening to NIO is the Chinese government came out and actually announced its support for the EV sectors and to transition away from fossil fuels. And that was very, very good for them. And now there's a lot of hype with NIO because some very, very big numbers just came out, which are suggesting that NIO could break their all-time high monthly delivery record. And they're looking very good when you look at the numbers. So I'm going to break them down in just a couple of minutes and then talk about why this can be a very, very good play. Now, let me just mention that I called out NIO quite a while ago. I'm sure you guys remember me calling NIO out, saying that NIO had so much upside potential, especially after the big events coming out like deliveries. And, many people had different opinions. It's completely fine with me. But if anything, when I called this thing out, this thing was in like the $8 area. Now it's in the 14s, continuing to uptrend. I'm not trying to imply I'm always correct. I am not always right. I make mistakes. I'm a human. And sometimes the charts could do things that you don't expect. Sometimes that's just a big part of trading. And the best thing to do is just to be open-minded as much as possible, live up to our own mistakes, as I make mistakes too. But there are times where I am correct, especially about big plays like this. And I just want to talk about NIO in particular because I see opportunity in it. There's something big that's going on with this stock, and I want to call out exactly what that is. All right, so what's going on with the stock? Basically, looking at CNEV Post, they have a lot of these insurance registration numbers in China, and we can actually see NIO's numbers and their sales for every single week in China. Now, when you look at all the numbers side by side, we actually have all the data here for these different weeks in July. We can see the numbers look just like this. Basically, going into NIO's numbers, we have the registrations for the month of July. During the first and second day of the month of July, NIO did 1,000 registrations/deliveries. Once again, quite good for them. Then for the 3rd through the 4th, they did 3,100. For the 10th through the 16th, they did 3,900. And then after that, the week after, they did about 4,700. So between, we're going to look right here, July 1st and July 23rd, they did over 12,700 deliveries, according to this data, which is super bullish, super, super bullish. And that's about 552 per day on average. Now, I want you guys to just look at NIO's delivery numbers that we've gotten for the past couple of years. You will notice that they're on a nice uptrend, and they saw some very strong numbers in 2022 for November and December, but then their sales ended up declining, and they've only been doing under 12,000 or around 12,000 or less for this entire year. And that's still pretty good for their standards, but things are continuing to improve for them. But here's the thing about it. In the first 23 days of the month, they did over 12,700, already breaking their 2023 record. And the CEO, William Lee Bin, was telling us that for the second half of the year, the deliveries, the numbers are going to be much stronger for NIO, and we're going to be expecting lots of upside with the new ES6 model. So I want to add on to this and just mention to everyone that as the stock improves, their all-time record for deliveries was just under 16,000. And for the last 8 days, NIO has to only do 3,300 to meet, or I'm sorry, break their record in its entirety. All right. So what does that mean? What that means is there are only 8 days left that haven't been reported for NIO. They're already at just under 13,000 deliveries, which is the highest number for 2023 for them so far. Now, with 8 days left, the 24th through the 31st, basically, we know that if they do 550 per day, that's going to be well over 4,400. And basically, if they do less than that, even if they only do like 3,000 for the last 8 days, they're still going to come very close to, if not beating, their all-time high record. So my estimate would be based off these numbers we're getting right here. They're doing around about 4,000 per week around there for most of these weeks. I think there's a good chance they're going to give us between 4,000 and 5,000 for the last 8 days of July. It's not just for 1 week, it's 8 whole days. 4,000 to 5,000 is what my estimate's going to be. And that would give us a total of 16,700 to 17,700 registrations for the month of July in its entirety. Why does this even matter? Well, check this out. When you look at the numbers, the all-time high deliveries record for them was about just under 16,000. And also last month, NIO only did about 10,700 deliveries. So imagine the company does a 60 to 70% increase month over month in deliveries. Imagine the company breaks an all-time high record in deliveries. Imagine they absolutely kill it, and the CEO is living up to the expectation that this company is going to be killing it for the second half of the year, and they're starting to do so. Imagine they actually get that crazy growth month over month. Imagine they absolutely kill it. That is going to be very bullish. And so far, from a technical standpoint, the technicals also look bullish on this stock. I say that because when you zoom out, right, we have this nice accumulation phase that has been developing. So basically, it came down. We saw these institutions accumulating these shares down here, and it formed a very nice bullish divergence on the RSI and also on the MACD. You could see the MACD was making higher highs. RSI was doing the same thing, gaining relative strength while the share price was declining. But when this thing was declining in the 7 to 8s, I was calling this out. I'm sure some of you remember me calling it out about a month ago, a couple of weeks ago. I was saying I'm very bullish on NIO. I think we're going to get some good numbers. And since then, it's been continuing to pump. And now it's approaching this critical zone around this $15 area. 15.25, which was the previous support, is now going to become resistance on it. And then above that, we have like 16.8 to be tested, 16, then 16.8. And if that breaks, I mean, the next level is going to be very close to like 18.5. Then we have this unfilled gap in like the 20s. I think, hear me out, I think if it keeps going, if we get strong deliveries and earnings causes NIO to pump, if they have very strong guidance, if both things go the right way and the stars align, I see this thing going for about 20 a share at the very least, maybe 22 a share if it keeps going. We need to keep getting bullish catalysts, okay? But before 20 comes, right, we have like 15, 16, 17. There's still opportunity in these like next levels above 14.74, which is the current level it's at. And I'm calling this out because there could still be good opportunity here as long as we get some strong deliveries. And I think the odds greatly favor that. We're so far at about 12,700 deliveries for the first 23 days of July, and we're waiting for the rest of the data to come out. And there's a very good chance they're going to give us a total of about 16,700 to 17,700, or around like 17,000 in total for the month of July, which is going to be a new all-time record for them. Bullish news. That's why NIO is pumping, and there's a very good chance it's going to continue to pump like this, in my opinion. So it looks very, very good. The technicals are aligning, looking bullish. The news looks bullish, and this stock has been up 11% on Friday, 10% just a few days ago. It was up 9% just before that. So this thing is getting 10% days left and right again and again and again. It really wants to go and looks really good. But please remember that your entry at these levels is a little bit late, because I was calling this out a lot earlier. Since last week, I was talking about their deliveries. I was also talking about this back in the month of June, how I'm very bullish on NIO, calling out the bullish divergence and etc. And so far, so good. It's pumping nicely. And I believe we could get a small little retracement before this thing tries to continue going higher. But we're going to be watching these imbalances and these unfilled gaps and these other very important levels, and then watch for their deliveries. I think the odds favor upside for them. Now, as far as Tesla goes, let me just mention that I'm still very, very bullish for the longer term future of Tesla, but I'm going to be a little bit cautious approaching the next like month or so, next few months, because first off, during the period of between August and September, historically, the market does get those sell offs, very, very healthy sell offs. And you have to also consider the fact that the market's been pumping like crazy. Could the market pump more because of Apple and Amazon announcing earnings? Yes, it's a possibility, but a very healthy correction is likely going to come soon over the next couple of weeks as we approach either August to September, around that period. And that could, once again, slow Tesla down a little bit. So when it comes to like investing in Tesla, there could be better opportunities coming in the future. Non financial advice, just a speculation. I'm just using the word could. It's just a possibility. And yes, Tesla could hold up. Yes, Tesla could try to get these rallies, but just be careful for the next, month to month and a half, because there is going to be some correcting coming to the market, and I will break more of that down in a later video. As far as supports go, I mean, you're going to be watching 250 as support. If that breaks on Tesla, we have these gaps down here that are not necessarily filled. We also have like 240 to 243 being our very important fib retracement level. The last time I checked it. So, downside is still a possibility, especially because Elon Musk and the team told us that guidance will not be that strong for Q3. And we know how manipulated Tesla could be. Now, could Tesla bounce temporarily? Yes, it can, but just be a little cautious approaching the months of August and September. I'm not making any promises. I'm just stating that that's very likely historically, based on what happens to Tesla and based on what happens to the markets. And the best thing to do is just be as cautious and be ready as possible. One strategy that works regardless of what happens in the market would be like dollar cost averaging down the more it drops and buying dips. Nothing wrong with doing that. It really is your choice. You could do whatever you want. I'm just talking about that strategy in particular. And with that said, I just wanted to call out these opportunities for Tesla investors. You could make a lot of money off Tesla, trading it and doing whatever you want, buying shares. But there are other plays out there as well, and I think good money could be made. For example, if you took NIO, because you did your own research and etc. Just hypothetically, right? And if you happen to take it around the time I called it out, not saying that I'm telling you to buy it. I'm simply stating that if you hypothetically started to look at NIO and it came into your attention, then you started doing your own research and you bought into it, you'd be a pretty darn huge on it. It used to be in the 7s, now it's in the 14s. That's like doubling your money or even more than that. Once again, just one thing I'm mentioning. No financial advice. I'm not saying buy into NIO. That's your choice. You don't even have to buy Tesla. It's your choice as well. But please be well aware of these opportunities and do whatever you want now that you know about them and know about what's about to happen. All right. All right. So thank you for listening. Have a great day, everyone. I'm going to talk more about Tesla a little bit later, but I just wanted to call this out. Tesla in the market to the moon alongside NIO as the long term is very bright. And peace out.